Welcome to the ThunderCast, your martial athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hugnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week, so keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose.
Thank you for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. This is the fifth installment of our new series this year, getting to know our opponents. In this week, Ragin Review, at least a couple of them, are going to help us get to know Louisiana. But I got to tell everybody, with the looks of this, the sound of this, you're getting low budget ThunderCast this time. I'm still without internet, but hey, the show has to go on, right? Nick, Jerry from Ragin Review, thanks for joining us. What do you got to say overall about Ragin Review and what you guys do before we get into the meat of this?
Yeah, well, Russ, thanks so much for having us. It's a pleasure to always interact with you guys. I know we've had a relationship since Marshall joined the conference a few years ago, and you guys have been great conference partners. Even though we go back and forth sometimes, that's the fun of it. Ragin Review, yeah. Ragin Review is currently in its 8th season, right, Nick? 8th season. We started in 2018, rebranded in 2020, right before COVID. And every year we've just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. We've added followers. We've added members to the group. Nick, you've been around since 2022. We've just grown, and we've turned this thing into something really special. We've had sponsorships. We're trying to add quality to our shows each and every week and each and every season. So, yeah, man, things are going great down here. Outside of the gameplay on the field, Ragin Review is doing just fine. So, yeah, it's a pleasure visiting with you guys tonight, Russ. And, yeah, looking forward to talking about this week's conference opener between the Herd and the Cajuns.
And Russ, I know you probably know what Boudin is, right? So you're going to have some when you visit us.
All right, Nick's going to refresh here. Nick, how about it?
Yeah, so definitely look forward to you guys coming out next weekend. We have Boudin, as you know. Boudin's a good Louisiana staple, but now one of our sponsors has made us the official Cracklin. So you'll be able to taste some Cracklins and Boudin this weekend when you come into town. So look forward to that, man.
These guys have done their homework, and they know that all I care about is food. And they're speaking to me right now. Not anyone at home, just me. They're telling me all about this. And I'm going to be making the trip, so I'm going to be able to tell all of us, all the listeners, watchers, and all that stuff, just how good this food is, man. I'm looking forward to it. Nick, Jerry, we got a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask you guys, but before that, I got to get a word from our sponsors at Leasure Oliver PLLC.
If you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm.
If it would play
if you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm.
All right, so it's not playing it, so I'm just going to do it for you.
304 car wreck.
If you've been hurt in a wreck, call. And it did it anyway. I really need my internet back. I really do. It's hard to do this from the phone and trying to reach up like this and show your finger to touch everything. Nick, Jerry, I'm sure you guys have cheated and you've watched the first 4 episodes of this series, so you know the question is coming. Don't lie to me. Don't tell me you don't watch our show. I do everything backwards, so we're going to start with give me a score prediction. Then we're going to work backwards into how you guys got that. We're not going to save that to the end of the show, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Jerry A. Bear, tell me right now a score prediction for this Saturday.
The luck can't get any worse. I think some of our players have revenge on their minds from last year. You know, it stung a little bit when you're holding up the Sun Belt Conference trophy on our field.
Sure.
So I'm going to think that I think the Cajuns are going to get back on track playing at home. I like the Cajuns 27-21 over the Herd. I think we get back on track to open up the conference.
All right, and we'll dive into that as we get through this episode on kind of the offense, defense, special teams, how you got there. Nick, what are you thinking?
77-9, and we've got the 9.
Oh man, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Well, we're brutal right now, Russ. I mean, there's nothing that's shown me that we can compete with an FBS team right now. So that's a story.
Well, I think every fan has been there at some point with their team, and I've lived through that before. I'm not there right now, thankfully. But you talk to any of our fans, anytime there's a loss, they're more in that mindset. Anytime there's a win, bring on the 85 Bears. So let's get right into this, kind of how you guys got here. Tell me about the coaching staff. I'm just wanting to hear about the head coach and his philosophy, offensive, defensive coordinators.
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying Coach Mike Desormeaux is on his 4th season as head coach for the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. He's been on 2 of the previous head coaching staffs dating back to 2016. He was on the staff with Mark Hudspeth, who coached until 2017, and he was also one of the assistants for Billy Napier all the way from 2018 to 2021 as an offensive coach and as an assistant head coach. And once Billy left to go to Florida, Mike was offered the job, and he took the job in 22. He had 2 back-to-back 6 and 7 seasons, both of which had us bowl eligible. We lost both of our bowl games. And then last year he had a breakout season with a 10-2 record, hosted the championship. Of course, Marshall came in and took care of business when our quarterback went down, and lost the final 2 games just due to injuries and due to the portal. A lot of players kind of opting out the bowl game against TCU. And I mean, it's TCU. So finished the season 10-4, had a lot of upside coming into this year. And from the first game, I mean, there were a lot of high expectations. You had a lot of these sports analysts picking us to win the Sun Belt West, possibly hosting the championship. Some of these same people had us winning anywhere from 7 to 10 games. And now they're through the first 4 games. It is a complete opposite reaction. Hasn't really been there. Haven't been playing up to par. First game of the season against Rice, just had a sloppy game overall. Many drop balls. Defense tightened up in the second half, but the offense couldn't get the ball rolling. And of course, our 4-star transfer quarterback, as we call him, the prodigal son of Lafayette, Walker Howard, comes in and starts that game. And he hurts his oblique in that final drive against Rice, to where now he's out for the next anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. And he just had surgery about a week or 2 ago, which really, really affected this offense. Daniel Beal, the starting quarterback now, was the same guy that came in against Marshall in the championship game. He's a redshirt freshman. He's taken the reins, and just overall, it's just for Coach Dez, being off to a 1-3 start this year, look, he's a native son of Louisiana, but at the same time, people are like, man, what's going on? Because, the first 2 seasons, it's one thing to go 6 and 7. Billy took a lot of players and a lot of coaches with him to Florida. And then last year, you finally realize, like, we're getting it right. You win 10 games. We were 1 South Alabama loss away from making it to the top 25 for the 3rd year out of the last 5. And then, this year happens and we're off to a 1-3 start. So it's been kind of tough to just deal with it. I mean, you can ask Nick. I mean, that loss to Eastern Michigan was such it just burst our bubble as a fan base, because we just built this $65 million stadium, which, by the way, Russ, you'll see it. It's beautiful. I mean, they did a heck of a job with it, but unfortunately that's the product we're putting on the field right now. And so it's been a lot of the mindset it's been a head scratcher for us. And, we're hoping that we can get things right, but man, we're going to talk about it in a second, but we have a lot of injuries stacking up on a lot of key positions, especially on the offensive side. And I'll just be honest with you, man, the pessimism has really kicked in after these first 4 games.
So to get back to your original question, though, Russ, as far as offensive coordinator calling the plays, we have an offensive coordinator, Tim Leasure, but he doesn't really call the plays. That goes through Dez. So you'll see a lot of spread offense. We like to run the ball. We're really good at running the ball, but for some reason, Dez is insistent that we throw the ball. And you saw that against Eastern Michigan, where we ran it down their throats. They could not stop the run, and then we decided we were going to throw the ball. It was mind-boggling. Defensive side, and on the defensive side of things, we have Coach Jim Salgado, who coached in the NFL. He also coached for Buffalo prior to coming to Louisiana. Likes to make a lot of halftime adjustments, so I think you'll see our defense play more zone early in the game. Once things settle down, it's more man coverage in the second half. Did not see huge adjustments against Eastern Michigan. You saw a lot more man coverage earlier in the game, and they let's just put it brutally to you. We got our asses handed to us in the running game because we are the, I think, fourth or fifth to last team in the country as far as run defense. Our defensive line is not holding up. They're allowing other teams to open up holes and let the running game get going. And then once, we stack the box to stop that, then you're putting pressure on the defensive backs who have to worry about covering guys in man coverage. So a lot of stuff not going right. Defensively, Tyree Skipper and Cortland Flowers are two of the best defensive backs that you'll see probably in the Sun Belt Conference. Not the best, but they're up there. They're good players. So we've got solid players on defense, a lot of speed on both sides of the ball. But right now, I think questionable play calling and not putting our players in a position to win, both on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball, is kind of biting us right now.
Plus, I also want to add to Nick's point about, the coaching staff. So offensively, and I know I kind of went on a tangent there. I shouldn't have done that. I was getting a little carried away. But, as far as the offense, Nick's making the face like it's Jerry. That's Jerry all the time. But, offensively, when we was talking about Dez calling the plays, we have two other assistant coaches that have offensive coordinator experience. So, Nick brought up Tim Leasure. He was an offensive coordinator at McNeese for a long time, and then he came to Louisiana. He's from Lafayette, actually, and so he's got ties here, and so he has offensive coordinator experience and play calling experience. Then you have George Munoz, who's been here since 2008, went to Baylor for a couple years, went to the school down the basin, LSU, for a few years. And was an offensive analyst. I mean, Joe Burrow actually thanked him for helping him in his Heisman Trophy presentation, and he's been an offensive coordinator here as well in the past. So you have three coaches on offense that have called plays, and so that's kind of the big mystery to us is what's going on, right? Because you've got so much experience of play callers, but it's not showing on the field right now. And defensively, to Nick's point, the biggest weakness we're facing right now is our front seven. Our secondary, I would put our secondary against anybody in the country. Physicality, athleticism, speed, they're all there. But one thing you're going to notice Saturday, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but if I'm Marshall, I'm planning to go up against that front seven, because our front seven, they're athletic, but they're still inexperienced. So, yeah, there's a lot of mystery about it, but as far as the play callers go, we do have experienced play callers, but it just has to resonate on the field right now.
All right, we're going to talk about the offense first, and you guys have already highlighted Bill at quarterback, but tell me a little bit more on this spread that we're going to see. Quarterback, the receiving targets, including any tight ends that may be targeted, and then the running backs, and a little bit about your offensive line.
Yeah, let's talk about our. Let's start with Daniel Beal. He is a freshman, redshirt freshman that was playing backup to Walker Howard. Walker Howard was a transfer from LSU, highly regarded. Transfer for Ole Miss. He was at LSU first. Very highly regarded, 5-star player out of high school. Gets injured in his first game, so Daniel Beal steps in, as he did against you guys in the championship game last year. Daniel has some good moments. He also has some bad moments. He will sometimes overthrow the ball. He is, if he's under pressure, he can make some mistakes. And when he is kind of in a groove, our wide receivers drop the ball. And let's talk about Shelton Sampson Jr. Again, another LSU transfer. We just found out he's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He was their first wide receiver on the team. Who was the one that got injured at the end of the game now, Jerry?
Rob Williams.
Rob Williams
Concussion.
was he was one of the better players on the team against Eastern Michigan from a pass catching standpoint. We used him in several different formations. He's out, and it's a contusion, right? A spinal cord contusion. So after the game was over, the team met for a prayer, and as soon as that was over, he collapsed to the ground and had to be transported to the hospital in an ambulance off the field. So
I saw that. I saw that. That's
very scary situation for him. Behind that, we've got a lot of young pups that are going to have some big moments against Marshall. I will say our tight end room is stacked. You've got two guys who are 6'7", 6'8", Caden Jensen and Teddy Gawley. Gawley is his last name, right? I'm terrible with names, Russ, but we've got two great tight ends that are both great at throwing some blocks when needed, but they have really, really good hands. Brock Chappell is who I was thinking of.
And Trey Miller, too.
And Trey Miller. But yeah. Brock Chappell, he caught several passes, made some big plays last week against Eastern Michigan. So from a wide receiver standpoint, we've got some talent. Mostly, I think we're going to rely on the tight ends to do some pass catching this week. And we relied more on the tight ends last week. So I think you'll definitely see more of that with two of our top wide receivers out. As far as running backs, Jerry, I'll let you take this one away. I mean, we've got some really, really good talent at running back. The problem is when we get some momentum there, we tend to just stop running the ball.
Well, to make matters worse, we have two offensive linemen that are out for the season, one of which was George Jackson, who we think was an NFL prospect. I mean, he was that good. Now he's hurt for the year. So, we're just plagued with injuries right now. But I will say the one bright spot of our offense is the running back room. And, we've had a reputation for quality running backs probably since 2008, Nick, right? All the way back to Terrell Finroy and all the way through 2011. I mean, it's almost kind of, it's strange to say this, but if you are a player that wants a shot on an NFL roster, Louisiana is actually a hotspot for running backs to have that chance. And so we have three really good running backs, two of which are well experienced. You'll see a lot of Bill Davis and Zylan Perry, both of which will get some yardage this week. I expect them to, because pretty much most of our scoring comes from those two guys. And then we have a freshman running back by the name of Stephen Blanco from right down the road in St. Martinville. He's a local kid, and he's made a name for himself. So one thing that our offense has always kind of had an identity on for the better part of the last decade is having a three-headed monster at running back. And I think we have that. But again, we do have a little bit of injuries plaguing our offensive line right now. So I'm just curious. It's really a good question of, do we try to get Daniel more comfortable in throwing the football, or do we go to our bread and butter with the rushing attack and just hope that our offensive line can block well enough against the front seven of Marshall to be able to move the football down the field? It's going to be a really, really interesting dynamic this week just because of the injuries, but also we do have some strong points, especially in the rushing attack, because now that Sheldon Sampson's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks and Rob Williams is out, that adds a lot of youth to our receiving corps, some of which there's going to be some guys in the receiving corps that probably have had limited play time now because they're going to have to step up. So it's an interesting dynamic. I still am optimistic enough that we'll be talented enough to move the football, but I just hope last weekend doesn't deflate momentum that we had, because when you lose a game like that at Eastern Michigan, that kind of changes the attitude of your team, regardless of whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. But we do have a talented room. It's just we have to get over the injuries. Injuries are killing us right now.
So that brings me to my first over-under. Because of what you're talking about with Daniel Beal coming in and had to come in for Walker Howard, and the running backs and some other wide receivers getting hurt, and offensive line getting hurt. Let's talk over-under on percentage of run plays in this offense. I'm going to put it at 55. Are you taking the over or under on Louisiana running the ball?
I'm taking the under. I'm with Nick. The issue we have, and the issue that I had, you can go on our post-game show last week. We were ranting and raving of why we didn't run the football more than we should have. Every time we got the ground game going, we scored. And every time we started throwing the football, we lost momentum. It happened in the first game against Rice too, right, Nick? There was a one drive in the second half. It was a 98-yard touchdown drive. And the entire time, we couldn't do anything in the first half against Rice. And we tried throwing the ball. We tried going deep. And, Walker threw an interception on a deep ball. We were trying to get the pass game going. And then in the second half, in the third quarter, we go on a 98-yard touchdown drive, and 70 or 80% of that was from runs. And I remember watching Bill Davis break this 30-yard run, and I'm screaming, keep running the football. Stop throwing. And so I think it's going to be under. I just think that in my opinion, it should be like 65% instead of 55. I would love to go for the over, but based on the play calling lately, it's going to be under. I have a feeling it's going to be under.
I mean, think about it, Russ. We were playing against the worst rushing defense in the country by far. Now, we're one of the worst now. But what do you do if you're a bad rushing defense? You run the ball to take time off of the clock. It's smartest man in the room syndrome. And that's what we fought all season. We fought it for several seasons, if we're being honest with you. We just had better results last year. If we have 16 analysts and we can't even figure out how to kick the ball at the end of the game to prevent them from winning. So I have no confidence that if we're running the ball with success in the first half, that we don't come out trying to sling it in the second half. So I'm with Jerry. I'm taking the under. But it should be we're running at 90% of the game to take away, take time possession in our favor when we can't stop the run. That's what you do. You control the clock to stop the other team from being on the field. But again, smartest man in the room syndrome. And
I'm going to tell Russ, I'm going to tell you what you're going to see on Saturday night.
All right, hold on.
Bill or Zylan they're gonna break off a 25-yard run, one of them, and it's gonna and then we're gonna run it again. It'll be 2nd and 2, like on the Marshall 35, and we'll probably throw the ball the next 2 plays and either have to force a field goal or we'll go for it on 4th down and miss. That's kind of what we've been dealing with over the last couple of weeks.
Tell me your first 8 plays in order.
Go watch EMU. The best drive of the entire game was when we scripted it. You can watch the first drive from every game this season.
We'll score on the first drive. We'll probably score on the first drive. The problem is once you get past that scripted version, we don't. It's almost a guessing game. So don't be surprised if we go up 7-0. We'll score, and then after that, for like a quarter and a half, we'll just stall.
Let's switch over to defense. You talked about the coaches and everything, but we didn't really hear the scheme, the base set that you'll be in. Tell me a little bit about the D-line, the linebackers, and the defensive backs, and what kind of packages we're going to be looking at from Louisiana.
I think we kind of run, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, we kind of run a multiple package. We do like to play on the edge a little bit. We do kind of a 4-2-5. Sometimes we'll do a 3 down lineman. Coach Salgado likes to mix it up. Right now on the defensive line, we do have a lot of youth, especially in the linebacking core. Losing a guy like Casey Osai last year was such a huge loss. He's playing for the Houston Texans now. But we do have some talent in the linebacking core, especially Cam Winfield, who is, a top-notch linebacker. He's been here for a while. He's got a lot of talent, very physical. We've got some guys, on the defensive line that they are fairly young. But I do think that, again, I feel like we have to depend on the linebackers against the rush more than the defensive line. Defensive line can clog up a little bit, but they don't really have the physicality just because of the youth. I do feel like we have some depth. It's just the lack of quality that we're showing right now. Again, a lot of youth there, but in the linebacking core, I think we are average as far as execution at the moment. But we do have some physical guys who can make tackles. Now, if you go watch us play against Missouri, I think we forgot how to tackle that game. But even last week, I thought we did pretty decent against the run. I thought we did pretty decent in our front 7. Where we were slacking was our secondary, which is completely odd because, like I mentioned, our secondary is really, really talented and they're really, really physical. Again, I got some names. Tyree Skipper, he's going to play on Sundays. Jaden Duggar. He was hurt a little bit last year, but he's done a really good job. Jalen Clark, he's another one that's done a really good job. Cortland Flowers had a pick 6 last week. The biggest issues I find with our secondary is when they're forced to play zone. You put them on man coverage, if they play man on you, good luck. But again, it goes back to smartest man in the room syndrome, the Knicks point. I wish they play man all game. They play man all game, you're not throwing on them. But we love to play zone, and we love to give that cushion. And that's how Eastern Michigan beat us last week. It wasn't because we were playing man coverage. We were just playing zone. But, I'll name a few more guys just to kind of describe our defense. Like I said, Tyree Skipper, Jaden Duggar, great secondary guys. You're going to see Terrence Williams, who was a running back converted to a linebacker. He's been pretty good, pretty effective on some big plays. Trey Tomlinson on the defensive line. He's a little young. Caleb Cabote is a linebacker that plays both special teams and on defense. He's made some key tackles. Jordan Lawson is, I think, what is he, an outside linebacker, Nick, if I'm not mistaken? He's somebody that he's got all the potential in the world. He can be an all-conference player. Kind of a slow start, but I expect him to have a decent game this weekend. And Jake St. Andre, linebacker, he's been pretty good on the outside. And then also you got guys like Kalia Edwards, who also came off injury last year. He's made some key tackles in some games. And, Fitzgerald West, who is a transfer from LSU, he's finally getting some play time, and you'll see him on the defensive line. But those are some of the guys. I like the physicality, and I think they're athletic, but they just got to – the front seven has to step it up. I think the front seven has to step it up. And the secondary, again, if they play man coverage, the Herd are going to have some trouble throwing the football. But it all depends if we play zone. If we play zone, you guys are going to score. I'm just going to be honest. The more physical we are and the more man we play, the harder it is for offenses to move the ball on us. But again, to Nick's point, we do adjust well in the second half. Coach Salgado has always done a really good job making halftime adjustments to where we do tighten up defensively. But last week was an anomaly because it was kind of the complete opposite. We didn't really adjust well. Same thing against Missouri. But defensively, it's the first two games they played pretty well. The last two has been a complete mystery to us. So I don't know, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll just add on to that real quick. Getting off the bus, you're going to see our lines and say, man, that's an SEC group right there. Looked great coming off the bus, looked great in uniform. The lack of execution, and I think he mentioned Lawson. Lawson's a senior. He should be one of the leaders on our defensive line, and he's just not getting it done right now. So there's a lack of I wouldn't say a lack of preparation, but a lack of execution, and the missed tackles and the poor tackling has been plaguing us the first few games of the season.
Yeah, it's always frustrating for fans to see with the missed tackles, and we had some of that in our MTSU game. I'm going to switch it over to special teams real quick. Want to know about your kicker, his range and accuracy. And then I want to know about your punter and how well he might be able to switch the field on us. And then any return guys that we should be looking for.
Yeah, let me talk about the kicker, because Tony Sterner is a guy who can hit it from 65 easily between the uprights, but struggles inside of 20.
Okay.
It's one of those mental things where he can kick it long and far. I mean, I think he hit one from 55 against Eastern Michigan. Well, that ended in a penalty, right? So that continued the drive, and then he got to the 28 and missed it. So it's a mental thing. He's got the leg, he's got the skill. It's just putting it all together. And I mean, we were spoiled. We had a guy who was the best kicker in the country last year. He won the Lou Groza Award, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so Kenny the kicker, he was the best in the country. We're spoiled by that. So I think Tony has the skills. He has it. He just needs to get past the mental part of it, and I think he'll be fine. As far as punting, Nathan Torty, he's a great punter. I think he had some crazy number of yards punted through the first 4 games of the season just because our offense has been stagnant. So I think he will pin you guys back. He's not going to do anything crazy. I don't think you're going to see him like kicking it, right inside of the one, as one of those angled putts, but he will hang it in the air for a long time and give our guys a chance to get downfield. So I think from that perspective, we're in a pretty good spot. And I'll let you talk about special teams. One of the things, Russ, last week, and this is again, when we're talking about players dropping balls, dropping passes, we're talking about the defense not making tackles. We tied the ball game with like 1 minute and 20 seconds left. And our coaching, I don't know if it was special. We were told it's a miscommunication. We squib kicked the ball. Tied ball game. We just tied the game and you squibbed it to give them the ball at like the 40-yard line. So all they got to do is go 40 yards and they kick a field goal. So
and they're moving the ball on you. And they're moving the ball on you.
Ball on you. So It's not about talent. It's about, again, giving guys an opportunity to succeed. And he said, I think we made the wrong decision. Yeah, I think you did, dude. I think you made the wrong decision. But that's par for the course on what we've seen this season. Jerry, I'll let you talk about the return game.
Well, Rob Williams was our main return guy, but now he's hurt, so I'm kind of curious.
That's why I turned it over to you. I don't know who it's going to be.
I mean, I know
Perry. It probably going to be Zylan.
Maybe Zylan Perry, maybe Cortland Flowers. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see who that's going to be because Rob Williams was such a staple in the return game even last season, and he had some good returns, but now he's not playing. I don't know, Nick. I am curious to see who it's going to be.
I mean, if Russell Babineau, and Russell Babineau is a hometown kid, true freshman, hasn't played this season, and very highly recruited by a lot of P4 teams. If he gets a chance as a freshman to to take the field on the home field in front of his fans, I would love to see a true freshman get that opportunity. But again, I don't know how he feels, boss. But if you're talking about a kid that can, be a game changer in the return game, I think it would be Russell Babineau. I don't think you'll see him, but in my little hope of hopes, that's who we would see on the field. But I don't know. I'm with Jerry.
He's kind of like he's like a version of Darren Sproles. He's shorter and he's stocky and built, but he's fast. Like you can't catch him. And also he went to Nick's high school. And I remember at Acadiana, and I watched him, some of his highlights. And I remember watching him and they run the veer. So if you're getting recruited as a receiver for a school that runs the veer, you're pretty good. Like you're gonna, and it's hard to get noticed in an offense like that as a receiver. But to see him in his highlights and see how fast he is, I'm with Nick. You get 4 games to redshirt, like, and look, Rob's only out. Rob Williams, luckily, is only out for this game. I think they changed his medical thing to a concussion, Nick, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, thank God, man.
Thank goodness, yeah. Because at first we thought it was a spinal contusion, and I think they just changed it to concussion, so he'll be out this week. I'd give Russell a shot. I mean, you get 4 games to redshirt, let him play. Heck, why not? I'd see what he can do. But no, it's kind of a mystery. We don't know, honestly, Russ, we don't know who's going to be the return guy because Rob's been that staple for so long. But look, we do have some speed. I'm sure they'll find somebody. It'll be interesting.
All right, so we've talked about the coaches. We've got their philosophy. We talked about the offense, defense, special teams. Now we're going to get into the most important things to discuss about this football game. Fans of Marshall that are making the trip down, all right? What do they need to see in Lafayette? Where are the places to go? Must-haves to eat? Feel free to shout your sponsors out if you have any food-related people that are sponsoring you. Just hit us with it all. Tell us where we're going because I know I'm looking forward to it.
Well, first of all, we do have one of our main sponsors called Eat Lafayette. It's they're under Lafayette Travel, which is our big how do you describe Lafayette Travel, Nick? It's kind of like our big resource.
It's Lafayette tourism, right?
Yeah, Lafayette Tourism. It's our resource for tourism in Lafayette, and they have a bunch of restaurants under Eat Lafayette that that are staples in our town, and it ranges from Italian food to Cajun food to Mexican to Asian, you name it. And so tell Marshall fans to be on the lookout this week. We always do a segment for home games where we go to one of the Eat Lafayette restaurants and we always try to highlight them. And it's a way for us to let fans, our opposing fans coming down, know, hey, this is a good staple in Lafayette. Yeah. So I will say, you can go to Eat Lafayette's website. You can look at all the restaurants, but I will say be on the lookout on later this week on where to go. We'll definitely guide you to the right place. I mean, really, without giving too much away, you really can't go wrong with any restaurant in Lafayette for the most part. Downtown Lafayette's got a lot of cool places. Nick's kind of rolling his eyes. You got to go to some of the small towns. You got to go to some of the small towns around. You want to give some names? Okay, without giving out. Okay. I mean, first of all, what are you craving is the question. You want Cajun food? You want some good local food? Like, what are we?
I'm craving it all, but right now, I'll just throw a couple things out. Someone comes down, they're like, I want the best po' boy in town. Where are they going?
Jerry, stop. Okay. Go to I'm cutting you off because you're making me mad. If you want the best po' boy, go to Old Time Grocery. It's right next to campus at UL. Yeah. Don't sleep on this place called Fizzo's, right off of I-10 in Scott, Louisiana. Scott's a small suburb of Lafayette. It's a very easy drive if you're staying off I-10. Go to Fizzo's. They have really good po' boys there, but also all the Cajun food that your little heart desires, and it's a steakhouse as well. While you're in Scott, you've got the Best Stop Cajun Market, which is a title sponsor of Rage and Review. They're
That's
the
our
official.
people.
They're the official boudin for Louisiana, but also the official cracklins for Rage and Review.
Okay.
You can stock up over there, try their boudin. But what's even better is that they're like, Scott is the boudin capital of the world. So like within a 5-mile radius of the Best Stop, there are like 4 or 5 other places. There's New News, there's Don's, there's Billy's, there's that are all specialty meats boudin places. So definitely you want to check that out. If you're looking for something kind of on the like small town scale, I don't have really any particular spots that I could suggest outside of like just go to Brobridge, Louisiana, and pull into the first little cafe that you see, and you'll have the best food that you've ever had in your life. And don't sleep on gas station food. I will tell you, if you're in a pinch, you're trying to get to the game, you stop at this place. They have like this little buffet style thing in one of the gas stations.
Get it.
Trust me.
And that's the thing about like Lafayette in our area when it comes to plate lunches. You can't go wrong. Anytime you go into a hole in the wall place and they've got like the whole buffet style of food behind the counter, get it. It's they're always going to get a rice and gravy. You're always going to get a meat. You're always going to get some good vegetables with it that's spiced up a little bit. I would also suggest too, like, you know, of course, everybody knows Prejean's, right? You want to go to Prejean's, that's a good place. To Nick's point, Vizo's is good. I'll also say
we got Dino's.
Yeah, Dino's is right by the stadium. That's Dino's Pizza. Go check out Dino's.
Do you guys see why I said this is the most important part? Listen to how passionate you guys are.
Hey, look.
But I mean, come on. I'm fat for a reason, brother. I like eating the food in Louisiana. But
Well, like-
Dino's is amazing. It's like a fusion of Cajun food and pizza. So you go get like a T-Rex or a Marie Laveau, and don't ask what's on it. Just order it, and it's
It's literally
crazy
a Cajun. It's literally Cajun pizza, is what it is.
All right.
Like you got
I'm
seafood
down.
on it, you got Cajun meats on it, and then also too, I would suggest, like Nick said, go to the small towns. You know, everything's within a 30-minute drive. Heck, go to Brobridge, go to New Iberia, go to Abbeville, go to Scott.
Don't go to New Iberia. Go anywhere else. Don't go to New Iberia.
Well, I got family that own a restaurant there, so I got a shout out to them.
Hook us up,
show 'em some
man.
love. Yeah,
Hook us up.
just don't go in the town. Go by the highway. Go by the highway. You'll be good.
That tells you everything you need to know about what you just said. Just say.
But like
One
you go,
more-
go ahead.
I was just saying one more food question, then I've got a couple more before we get out of here. Muffaletta. Where's the best muffaletta sandwich?
Nah, that's
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans, man. New Orleans.
I know
I'll
it
even
is, but
say-
you don't have anything over there?
No. I'll even say the po' boys. Like Chris is the closest you're gonna get to a New Orleans po' boy. Not Chris. Chris and I'm sorry, Old Time. Old Time is the closest you're gonna get to a New Orleans po' boy. Chris is also good too, because see, Chris's you get the gumbo with the po' boy. They got gumbo over there. But if you want a New Orleans style po' boy, go to Old Time. They're we've partnered with them. They're awesome, great people, big Cajun fans. And also too, Nick, I forgot to mention, our tailgate is gonna have the Seychelles platter from Best
From the
Stop.
Best Stop, yeah.
We're getting the full Best Stop tailgate platter. And just to let your friends know, if y'all get it, do you have any Marshall fans tailgating at the stadium? Order for $95. I think it was $95. Order the Seychelles platter. It's a hot platter of boudin, tasso, meats. It's in a tailgate tray. Order it on a Friday. They'll have it ready for Saturday. And tell them Rage Review sent you. They'll hook you up. So
Okay.
yeah, that definitely. Nick, I can't believe I almost forgot that. You got to give that a shout out. Got to give a shout out to that. But no, muffalata's in New Orleans, man. You're not really going to find much of that in Lafayette. That's more Italian. It's
I was
Italian
just thinking
based.
there was going to be something over there that was like that. Yeah.
They have some places, but I don't really like. It's not really a staple, I guess. You
Okay.
know?
Olives we don't cook
Fair
with
enough.
olives in Cajun country. That's
Yeah.
more of a Creole thing.
Gotcha. All right. So we mentioned tailgating, where you guys are going to be tailgating, but someone's coming down. They're getting into town. Where can they go park? Where can they go tailgate? If they can't set up a place that's close enough of their own, and they want to just go, where are some friendly tailgates that an area that they could go through that they can get some of this tailgating culture from Louisiana?
So we pride ourselves on tailgating, and usually free parking is across Congress Street, in the grass lot across from the stadium. If they want to park for free, they can park there. And then what they'll do is they'll walk into the parking lot, the stadium parking lot. You'll see in the north end zone, there's a lot of RVs that are laid out. Nick, I think your family will be out there. They can go, Nick, you can tell them where they can visit you as well. They'll be cooking and grilling and doing all that other fun stuff. And then the tailgate tents, more of the tailgate tents is going to be on the new side of the stadium, which is the west side by the baseball field. Right by the baseball stadium and the track and field is you'll see a line of tents. You'll see, I believe it's what's called Cajun Village, I believe. A bunch of amenities out there. You'll have a live stage with some good live Cajun Zydeco music. You can go dance out there if you want. But the Ragin Review tent will be along what is called Reinhardt Drive, where they have Cajun Walk. It's right where the baseball stadium ends and the track and field begins, and we'll be across Reinhardt, 1 or 2 spots from the Cajun Walk. You'll see a big Ragin Review flag. Come find us. We'll have TVs, we'll have music, we'll have food, we'll have probably do our post game there. 2 of the guys will be doing the post game there. Please, if you're wearing green, come hang out with us. We'll be more than happy to say hello and feed you and have a good time. So we're kind of in the center of it, right, Nick? We're kind of in the center of where all the tents are.
We are. Just look for the Ragin Review flag. It's about as big as the biggest American flag you've ever seen. It says Ragin Review. You'll find us. But I will say, you guys have experience last year in the conference tournament. You wear green. You have Marshall shirts on. I wouldn't even bother setting up a tailgate. Just walk around and you will be invited. You will get food. You will be fed. You'll be taken care of. I just
want to let Marshall fans know, Cajun people are very prideful about their food. So don't feel offended if people like putting food in your face, like try my food, try my this, try my that. Like
I've never been offended when somebody tries to give me food.
I'm telling you, we get offended if you don't try our food. Like it is almost imperative that if you're coming to our tailgate, it is almost rude for you to not try our food, right? Sure. So no, I mean, like to Nick's point, if you're wearing green, you're going to get invited to a few places where there's going to be some good home style Cajun food. So please don't be hesitant about that.
I think we're cooking buffalo this weekend, aren't we? Don't we have some bison on the grill? I think so.
I don't know. Maybe
we'll have some of that out there.
We'll spice it up a little bit. Put some
buffalo
Cajun
burgers.
It's really making me want Friday to come so bad so I can get down.
Are you arriving Friday afternoon?
Not Friday afternoon. It's like a 14-hour drive, man. I'm not flying, so I'll get there. I'm leaving after work, and it's going to be into Saturday morning when I get there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And also let Marshall fans know that if they're coming in, if they follow us on social media, DM us. Send us a DM, send us a message, whatever help they need, whether it's getting around Lafayette or finding a place to eat or all that other fun stuff, like, logistically speaking, like, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help with that.
Well, that's a good transition because the last thing I wanted to do was for you to tell all of our viewers and all of our listeners where they can find your content, because this week I'm sure you guys are going to have more than just like a preview of the game. You already said you were going to be at a restaurant and things like that. So where can they find you on social and interact with you, and then where can they get your content? Both tell them about your the threads. I can't remember what it was called. I even signed up for it, but tell us all about all that.
Yes. Well, let me take this one, Jerry, because there's a lot, and I've got this memorized. So you can check out Cajun Threads. It's our official message forum. You can find it at raginreview.com. In the top left corner, there will be a link to Cajun Threads. Go on there, sign up. It's a lot of really good people. We try to cut the riffraff out with trolls and spam and all that stuff. So it's a really cool community. And again, that's another way that you guys can go in and ask questions as a visiting fan. As far as where you can find us on all major social media, X. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I can go down the line, but just look up at Ragin Review and you can find us there, especially on YouTube. YouTube on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Central, we have our live breakdown of the upcoming game. We also have our tight end and brand ambassador, Caden Jensen, who comes on the show to break down the last game and also what to look forward in the next game. So we got a lot of really good content, especially talking with one of our players during that episode. So that's, again, 7:30 Central Time on YouTube. and that's at Ragin Review there as well. And I think we also do stream on Facebook and X. And then, if you have any questions. Oh, yeah, post-game. Can't forget about that. We do have the Gulf Coast Bank post-game show that we'll do on YouTube as well. That's immediately following, usually 20 minutes after the game. We do broadcast from the stadium, and then I'll be in a studio so that I can try to keep things semi-civil because it gets a little bit crazy over at the tailgate. And then also, fans there, you can set your dial to 106.7 FM. 3 hours before the game, we do carry a pregame tailgate show where we, again, preview the upcoming game, which will be against you guys this weekend. So lots of ways to find us. But again, any questions, find us on X, send us a message, send us a DM, and we will certainly get back to you.
And also, too, about the post-game show, we actually, like Nick said, we stream it, like I'm here in my studio and then Nick's at his, but there's usually 2 or 3 guys that are going to be from the tailgate spot. So you'll see the stadium in the background. We'll do a live shot that's part of the post game, and we have fans that just hang out and show up to the tent. So like if you or a few of your friends want to come by for the post game and just hang out, like you can come behind the camera and wave. Yeah.
We had Oklahoma drills last post game.
We literally did.
But yeah.
And if you want to go full WWE on us and call us out or whatever, it'll be a lot of fun. But no, seriously though, like if you want to come by for the post game and stop by the tent, if you're near that area of the stadium, we'll do our post game from there, and everybody just kind of hangs out. Like we'll have the live stream on one of our TVs, and then the 2 guys or 3 guys will be in the background actually doing the show while I'm here and Nick's there. And it's actually turned out to be a lot of fun. We take pride in our post games. We have fans that call in, through the we do the Twitter space. They'll call in, they'll comment on the game, and we're kind of like the unofficial post game show for Ragin' Cajun football. So like if any of you or your friends or family want to come stop by after the game, hopefully after a Cajuns win, feel free. The tent's wide open, and you can just come hang out with some of your best Cajun friends.
Awesome. Nick, Jerry, thank you guys so much for giving us a glimpse into the Louisiana program, the tailgating scene, Lafayette overall. I feel like everyone that watches and listens to this episode is going to be better prepared for the game. That's what this whole series is all about. So I look forward to making the trip. Anyone watching, listening at home, you have no excuse not to know what to do, where to go, how to do it. Thanks to Nick and Jerry and the rest of the guys at Ragin' Review. Guys, any final words before I take us out of here?
Lord help us. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, look, just give us a win at this point. We just want to win, like something. It'd be nice to start the conference 1-0, but I'm not going to lie. I know you guys have had full turnover last year with a new coach and total new roster. But seeing what you did in Murfreesboro against Middle Tennessee this weekend compared to what we did at Eastern Michigan, not good. Not good. As we say.
By the way, tell some of your burners to freaking relax. Tell them to get off. Don't start this crap this week. Like, this ain't the week. We ain't into it this week.
No, we're really not. We're really not.
I have zero control over I have no burners of my own. I don't even post on our podcast thing. I'll do the same down at Louisiana, but on the road trip down to Murfreesboro, I took it over just to post some photos and videos of tailgating. And that's the most you'll ever see me on the podcast is when I'm doing that. But no, otherwise it's just all at Russ Living Good, and that's all you're going to get.
Well,
but
hey, come take some photos at our tailgate, man. Come hang out.
I'm going to trust me. I will. All right, so whether you see us at the Jack, whether you see us at the Joan, or whether you see us in Lafayette, hopefully coming home with a win, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go Herd. It's the ThunderCast, and we'll see you in a day or so.